Well, hello everybody. This is kind of a special little bit of a live stream that we're doing. I decided to do this one just because I thought something was super interesting to me, and I wanted to do it. I saw a tweet the other day, and basically they were talking about an Airbnb collapse, and this has kind of been making the rounds. A lot of people posted this on Facebook. I'm going to bring up the chart here in a second, but it talks about Airbnb revenues collapsing in a bunch of markets around the United States. And that got me thinking, if the Airbnb market here in Southern California were to collapse, would that alter the dynamics of our real estate market? Would that save us? Would that give us enough inventory to really make a difference for home buyers? And rather than guess, I thought it would be fun to kind of run through the numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this up here. There's a little bit of a caveat. The person who did this original tweet, which has been getting a ton of traction, this person has kind of been, I don't want to say discredited to some degree, but I'll go ahead and say nobody can match his data, and his reputation is not very good in terms of being truthful. He kind of just likes to get a bunch of clicks. But I thought it was an interesting idea. So let me go ahead and kind of go through the numbers on this. So what we have here is there an Airbnb collapse? And some other people have kind of run to other data sources, right? And what this stands for here is revenue per listing. I'm just going to go over this kind of just for a second, but if you see, gosh, they even have like in New Orleans here down 37% revenue. Of course, everybody else's numbers do not look nearly as drastic. We do see revenue per available listing going down. But you see here in New Orleans, they've only got a 15% decline. So I thought, barring that, here we are in Southern California. What would a disastrous outcome realistically be? I think if Airbnb revenue were to drop by 50%, I think that would be pretty cataclysmic to the short-term rental industry. So if that were to happen, what's the result, right? People are going to sell some of those homes. They're not going to stay on the market. So right now in Los Angeles counties, I kind of just picked LA County to run the numbers on. In LA County, we have 29,491 active Airbnbs. These are listings that are where you get the whole unit, right? Like the entire condo, the entire house. I don't think it's really fair to compare kind of rooms for rent. That doesn't really add to the housing stock. But I want to put that number in reference, right? Because that sounds like a huge number of properties, right? 29,491 Airbnbs. But this past 12 months, meaning from today, looking back a year, in Los Angeles County, there have been about 47,000 homes sold. And that is a particularly bad year for home sales. So if you look, for example, in 2021, there was 77,000 homes sold in Los Angeles County. So is 29,000 Airbnbs significant? Yes, but not necessarily earth-shattering, right? So if we go ahead, there's some other important stats I think people want to know about listings in Los Angeles County. So as of right now, today, this second, which is June 29th, 2023, there are 8,308 properties that are either active, coming soon, or on hold, right? So 8,300 properties. So that's just a given snapshot in time. What is active on the MLS and available in LA County? And so I think it's kind of interesting to take a look at that number. By the way, another interesting stat that is important for our discussion is that there were 6,024 new listings that came up onto the market. So that means things that came onto the market in the past 30 days. There are about 5,200 properties in escrow right now, just in under contract. Somebody is trying to buy them, hasn't closed yet, and 4,409 properties closed in the last 30 days. So basically, if you take that available number, that 8,300, and you divide it by about the 4,400, you get just a little bit under 2 months of relative inventory. That means if no new properties came on the market at the rate we're going, we would get rid of all of our listings in 2 months. Okay, back to the Airbnb collapse. So there are 29,491 active Airbnb listings in Los Angeles County. And again, let's suppose there's a cataclysmic event, right? 50% of that revenue goes away. Revenue drops by half. We slash that. By the way, economically, if that were to happen, my guess is the Fed is slashing rates pretty fast if that's the economy we're in, where Airbnb revenue has fallen 50%. So if we say that that's a 50% decline, and let's pretend that the market is somewhat efficient, you would expect that approximately 50% of those Airbnb listings would have to go away, right? It's not a sustainable business if revenue drops by 50%. So if we take that 29,491, we say over a 12-month period, half of those Airbnbs are going to turn into something else, right? So that's 14,746 units that are going to turn into something else other than an Airbnb. Now, you might think, okay, over 12 months, that's 14,000 new listings that are going to come to the market. That sounds pretty significant, right? Well, remember, those would come over 12 months, but there's another problem, right? And that problem is not all of these properties that are taken out of the Airbnb pool are going to turn into new home listings. I think some of these properties are going to turn into long-term rentals. And I think some of these properties might actually just turn into plain old second homes, right? Or kind of friends and family rentals where somebody's not really doing it as a business. They don't really need to make money. What they're really hoping to do is just offset their costs of owning a property that they were planning on buying anyway. So I figure 50% of those properties are probably not going to turn into a listing. So the reality is, even though close to 15,000 will exit the Airbnb marketplace, I think that only 50% of those will actually turn into listings. That's 7,373 new listings that are going to come in the space of a year because of an Airbnb collapse. That works out to 614 new listings per month. So remember, we are in a very, very low inventory environment right now in Los Angeles County. We are actually in a spot where we have the fewest number of listings really that we've had in a while. Our inventory is less than it was last year. So right now we've got 8,308 that are in this pool of on the market, but not in escrow yet. So we'd be adding 614 of those per month. 614 versus 8,300. Do I think it would make a difference in the market? Yes. Do I think it would make a very big difference in the market? No. I think this would have a negligible impact on prices and on availability. As an example, in Los Angeles versus last year, that 8,300 number is down roughly 30–40% from where it was a year ago today. So, imagine what the market was like a year ago, and that's essentially what it would be like. I think it might move that months of inventory just to crest over 2 months versus under 2 months. I really don't think that would make very much of a difference at all. So unfortunately, for those of you sitting on the sidelines who saw this tweet from this individual, Airbnb revenues are crashing. Hallelujah, there will be more listings on the market available for me to buy and prices will fall. It probably would not work out that way. Even if that were the case, that is not going to be what really fuels inventory in our market. And really, that is the crux of the issue. There's not a lot of things in our market that will change the amount of inventory that we have. The number one thing that will change the amount of inventory that we have is lowering of interest rates so that people who have been sitting on the sidelines wanting to make a move can sell their current home and buy another one. Unfortunately, that will also add a buyer into the market pool. So you will add a new listing, but you will also unfortunately add someone who's looking to buy another property. That ends up being pretty much a net, a zero-sum game. It doesn't really make much of a difference. Anyhow, thank you for watching this little fun episode of Real Talk. I hope you've liked it. My name is Stephen Meade. I am the managing broker here at Domicile Real Estate, located in Southern California. We help buyers and sellers in Los Angeles and Orange counties. So if that's you, definitely reach out to us. We would love to chat. Anyhow, happy Thursday going into 4th of July week. Should be fun. As always, be safe out there. Questions, comments about real estate, we love those. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're going to post this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We will see you again real soon.